Hello, hi, hola, greeting and handle. Today I'm only looking at the Blender portion with any great detail of something that requires 3 different pieces of software. So what I can do is use one of the pieces to record something very basic that says, and that is as easy as a simple switch gets. Ta-da! Now, once I have that recorded, I can go ahead and do all sorts of things and change it and edit it and make it louder, bassier, and split it to different tracks. Most importantly, I want to export the audio from Audacity into an MP3 file that Blender can use, and hopefully that's going to stick. Alright, so the single switch is really cool. Blender 2.79 is where we're looking. If you've never used it, I'm not going to do a huge walkthrough, but the basics require a couple of add-ons. Images as planes is one such. I already have a couple of mouths that, yes, M2 closed will do quite nicely. These are drawings that I made earlier, and if you need me to, I will go ahead and make a video about those later on. I will subdivide that with W. Number of cuts is 49, giving me 50 polygons. That is now ready to sit on top of a shape. And for this shape, I'm going to do something from another plugin. This is a rounded cube. We started using rounded cubes instead of spheres because the poles don't pinch at the top and bottom when we subdivide. These are all quads. Spheres are not all quads, so they did not subdivide very nicely. In order to make my... where is it? There it is. In order to make my images plane go onto this, as I wander back and forth, I'll choose shrink wrap. And I will use my round cube, and I will project, and I will offset. I will use the positive, and it's done. It's already done. I might as well smooth that smile. This is already something that some of you probably had the basics of. My settings are made to be efficient, so I've turned my light paths down significantly. Might as well just go to full global. Switch a couple of these to zeros or 16s. Let's see, Shift Tab gets me back here. And I'll turn off the caustics just to speed it up a little bit. So already it's looking pretty swell. Because the offset of that plane is giving a little distance in front of the rounded cube, I want to go into the, Object tab. And in Cycle Settings, I will turn off Shadow and Glossy. And maybe a couple others, whatever suits the project I'm working on. That is there. This I'm just going to tab in and Shift D to make a duplicate, S.1 on the number pad, enter, and voila. I have small balls. Now GZ, I can move it up. There it is. I'm going to hit P to separate that by selection, tab to get out, go into this guy, and I'm going to use, because nothing has moved from the point of origin here, from the 3D cursor, I'm going to use this to rotate it down there, and then tab in all of it. Shift D, R, Z will let me just throw another I over there. I'm going to take those... I'm going to take this image as plane, and then finally the base, which is a head object, and I put Control P. The beauty of this is that by projecting the image of plane on the head object, it doesn't really matter what the shape is. As long as it's mostly convex, I can get that smile or mouth part or something on the head shape. So I'm just going to make a real basic material here for the eyes. It's going to be dark because I don't want stylized, like heavily stylish eyes with such a simple 2D mouth. It sure does look ambient occlusion-y, doesn't it? I didn't really mean for that to happen, but I'm not going to go into big details, and I'm going to give this a very pale color with a little bit of roughness and not quite so much specular. Great. Shift Z, come back out. Everything is parented to it. So if I hit GZ1 to put them on the ground, everybody goes along for the ride. This is cool. Very simple ground. I'll just do this quietly on my own. And there's a little guy with weird offset eyes, but I can hit RZ and fix that. It's kind of nice to have the eyes loose from the head, because then you could do kind of whatever you want. So 2 R's and his smile is up, his smile is down. This was drawn in such a way that the corners of the mouth are the corners of the mouth, so it doesn't really matter if it's up high. I know that when the mouth is open, it won't really interrupt much. And what was that? The x-axis to... I wish that worked. So scale x. How about wapow? Wapow. Oh, it's a reflection. It's never quite as simple as I'd like it to be. So extrude on the Z, and then I really will take those, get this, Control B, spin it, and now shove things forward. Tab out, go to 0, Shift Z, home. There he is, minus minus. So big question, how on earth, Shift F5, 0, Shift F3, how on earth can we switch very quickly from a closed mouth to what we know is an open mouth? So let's click that material. Blender has kindly put in a bunch of shaders to do PNG images planes carrying along the transparency. So I'm going to take the shaders, Shift D to duplicate, Y to move it straight down, and then Shift D duplicate a mix shader, toss in the other image, which I am going to go change M2 open center, I believe. Yeah. Now they both show, because the factor is 0.5 or 1 or 1,000 things in between. So here's the fun genius of that. Pardon me, genius. But you can use value and plug that value straight into the factor value. I'm going to put this down to 0. Now, the switch bit is a converter math node. This is really important. Any sound is going to drive this value. Anything over a certain sound is going to trigger the open mouth. Anything below a certain threshold will let the value of 0 remain, and the mouth will be closed. In order to do that, I want a value greater than some number, and I think it's 0.05. Good news. I am now all the way backed up at frame 1. I'm going to left-click select this node. I'm going to right-click insert keyframe. I'm going to hit Shift F6. I think I can get away with this right now. I want my audio clip to start affecting that node at frame 1. When I go to key, I can bake sound to F curves. I hope I can find it. Ta-da! I'm so glad I said ta-da. Now, there is white noise, the background noise that you can't avoid when you're doing a recording, where would be a good example. It's actually pretty clean. I'm surprised. Usually, my background noise is like 0.03 or 0.04. Right now it seems to be below 0.01. Sweet. It also means this is a really quiet recording. The advantage to using a greater than switch is because you'll notice that at its peak, this recording doesn't come close to being a value of 1, which is way up here. So this is marvelous. I'm maybe patting myself on the back a little bit too much, but I'm just so glad that I can finally do something that gets these ideas out of my head, like, you know, like funny little silly things that people say. Now when I use 0.05, it's up here. You'll see that there's some sound at 0.025. Maybe I just don't want my character to open their mouth until 0.05 or 0.04, and that means that there's a good balance between open mouth and closed mouth during these bits right here, that the portion of MP3 that looks, it's not flatline, but it's not very dynamic. Now already I can scrub through this and wow, where the hell is that? There it is. It's a lot more closed than open, isn't it? But there he is. He is switching immediately from open to close. There's no tweening, and that's what I think a lot of people have trouble with, is how do we stop tweening when we try to do something like this? Because you know you could draw open and you know you can draw closed, but darn it, to have it snap shut and snap open, that's the beauty of that. Shift F3 back to the node at a material node editor, and we only really have one thing left to do here, which is to make sure that audio renders out and the audio is synchronized with the appearance of its effect. That's a little stickier. Where on earth does this end anyway? I didn't bother to look. Shift F6. It looks as though the end... Ooh, it's not that close, is it? It's 160. Well, it was like a ta-da, like that right there, right? You heard me record it, so that's not a spoiler. I'm going to close this down to 160. I'm going to go where I don't normally go. I've got someone in the room with me. If you can hear a little bit in the background, I'm so sorry. Someone has to be entertained. Daddy? Yes?
Can I talk?
Yes, you can talk, but only I can hear you. Feel like talking? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let me talk on this.
No, those are headphones. I'm putting this on so that you can watch your cartoons while I sit here slaving away, making cartoons for you. Can you say slaving away?
Hi, Daddy. Can I wear this, Daddy?
These are headphones, and they're just...
Daddy, can I wear my headphones, Daddy, please?
What on earth was I doing? I was taking us to where I don't normally go. It's video editing. Let me hit Shift left arrow to get me where I really want to be. Shift A, scene. That begins our scene at the beginning. Now Shift A, we want to add a sound. Try sound. Now our MP3, and I'll add that crap. Yes. I'm not sure what he was spelling. Uh-oh. So when this happens... let's... Oh dear. Let's length. Let's change the length of our scene, shall we? And I'll hover over it and click X. Erase it? Oh yeah, totally. Shift A, let's do scene again, and it's re-greened. I'm very comfortable with it being green. I'm very nervous about it not being green. I now have timed everything at the 1, and the results are pretty basic. I mean, now it's just rendering. MP3 audio codec, can't live without it. Volume maxes out at 1. I've tried. It just maxes out at 1. MPEG-4, I believe, is a good way to go. Maybe this time I will, however, try Matroska. That's hot. So now, let me just F12 this thing here. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? Light paths, motion blur. This one, this one, this one. Good. I can click the automatic keyframe insertion for objects and bones. When I do so, and I hit Alt-A, it is ready. And that is as easy as a simple switch gets. Ta-da! And it will record and play back whatever it is that's going on. Video editing. All right, we know this was swell. Erase that strip. Thanks. Gosh, that's loud. So when I click on this automatic keyframe insertion for objects and bones, what I can do is hit Alt-A, and with the parent highlighted here, with it selected, it is now ready to record whatever movement takes place. And so I know, essentially, what that guy is saying. And it's just like, it's like this easy. Watch, I'll even start it right around the middle here. Hit R again, and there he is. He sort of looks at us. Right click. Ouch.
Can I see it?
How about watching it in slow motion?
Is it blinking?
It is blinking. It's animating frame by frame.
But I wanted to talk.
You do? Have we ever made anything that talked? Like this?
Now, what you knowing, Chief?
That's us.
Can I watch T-Titan?
No, you can watch my smiling sphere. I made a cartoon for you.
Daddy?
No, I'm serious. See? Look at this guy. Does he look happy? Because he is. And that is as easy as a simple switch gets.
That's my red tongue.
Now, what you knowing, Chief?
So the switch is the important part, and the audio is easy, and drawing the mouths and making sure everything is okay with that stuff is for other videos, for other software. If you need help with the software, go ahead and ask. If you do anything with this technique, if you have features that are two-dimensional and they're rendered on top of 3D objects, go ahead and post a link in the comments. I'd like to see it. Other people would probably like to see it. You'd probably like to share it. See you later.
Alligator.
That's it.